want to be famous.
You know, as a young black male in America, I feel like a lot of us are just out here lost as fuck. I feel like a lot of us are lost as fuck. I feel like a lot of us don't know shit because our dads didn't teach us shit. And if we have people there that can teach us shit, they don't know that some boundaries they don't want to cross. They don't want to tell you certain things. They want to leave it to your parents or your father or whatever. So I started getting more upset the more I started talking to my mom about, you know, I felt like my dad should have been there at least to tell me about women, at least to tell me not to think on my dick. Because a lot of the time when I was younger, all I wanted to do was fuck. All I wanted to do was find a girl, fuck, and tell my homeboys about it, or like keep it like a Pokemon card or some shit. Like there is no real reason.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, gotta catch them all. For no fucking reason. And my mom did the best that she could, but there is no possible way for a woman to tell a nigga or a young man not to think with his dick, because women don't understand the concept of thinking with their dick. Mm-hmm. You know why? They don't have one. So a lot of the mistakes that a lot of black men run into is thinking with your dick related. We want bitches. We thinking with our dick, so we want bitches. To get bitches, you need to have money. To get money, well, we ain't got no fucking qualifications, and we're fucking 14, 15 years old. It's a nigga on the block selling weed. He could put me on, and that's my homies, and they're my role models and my dogs. So it's easy for us to jump into this lifestyle to get money, to be fly, to get bitches. It's all around women. So for him to notice, he sold drugs. He grew up in Gary. He know what it's like. He could have warned me and said, hey, your dick gonna get you in trouble. Let me give you some knowledge so you won't have to run into these problems that I had. My mama had me at 14. I think he was like 15, 16. So they know what it's like to have kids young, and he know what it's like to think with his dick. She know what it's like to be attracted by niggas with money because he was a dope boy. So when you grow up and your parents shelter you from their mistakes, they don't want to seem like they ever fucked up. So they don't sit down and tell you, you know, at this age, I did this. And, you know, I was out here fucking and doing da-da-da-da. They want to tell you, wait till marriage to have sex, but you didn't. And why you didn't is because your little pussy or dick got hard or wet, and you went out there and did whatever you wanted to do to get it, and now we in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? And even if my parents don't know, you know, even if my parents don't know shit about financing a house or buying a car or things that go wrong with a car, things that go wrong with a house, or things that go wrong in a relationship, or depression, or stress, or any of these things, no one tells you how to deal with this shit, and this is the shit you instantly fucking deal with as soon as you hit adulthood. Because we have this idea that at 25, I'm supposed to have my life together. I'm supposed to, you know, figure out what I want to do in life. I'm supposed to have this amount of money in my bank account. I'm supposed to have this, this, and this, because of the pressure put on us by society or our parents or anything like that. And then we throw ourselves inside of this, like, sad state or depressed state or stress state because we don't have shit. And we don't know how to get the shit. And we see our parents constantly pressuring us like, well, what are you doing? Why you ain't doing this? Why this ain't happening? Because you didn't tell me how to do none of this shit. So a lot of the times I feel like a lot of the problems that we may have or we may develop come from the lack of knowledge. Everything I feel like comes from a lack of knowledge and understanding. So when it comes to sex, how to deal with men, how to deal with women, how to deal with money, how to manage money, how to deal with financing the house, how to deal with a bank, how to deal with all of these things, I feel like my parents should have known this from trial and error. But if they didn't, it's okay because maybe they didn't learn from their parents.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, it could have been a cycle where they did not know. But to me, I understand everything that you say. I agree.
Right.
But at some point, as an adult,
right,
we have to take accountability for what we do and what we want for our lives.
Right.
Even if our parents, I know people whose parents showed them like the blueprint.
Right.
And they still fuck up.
Right.
And it's not because their parents did or did not tell them something. It's because we become adults, we have our own mind, and we still, sometimes you don't learn shit until you make a mistake.
But some people don't have that option to make a mistake and learn from it. Yeah. Because if you make a mistake, you might go to jail. You might die. You might ruin relationships. So, and that's what I'm saying. If it's adulthood, like I'm down there 30, and I feel like I'm ill-equipped. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like some days I be like, God damn, like I should be doing more, but I don't know what but I don't know
how.
Right.
Okay, I am 30.
Right.
And
you 30?
Yes.
You look good, girl. You look 21, 22. Okay. All right.
But I turned 30 in February, and one of my things was I said, but by the time I was 30 or before I turned 31, I want to have my master's. I graduate in August.
That's right.
So I was like, okay, this is like a step towards me doing something more and getting more. Like, am I where I want to be at? Absolutely not.
Right.
But I'm in a better position to get further than I was 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I think that instead of like looking at your age and looking at, you know, I'm ill-equipped, figure out how to equip yourself and go do it.
All right. I agree with that, and that's the stage that I'm at. But you have some people who aren't conscious of this shit. Mm-hmm. And that's where you have most of our black brothers in prison. That's where you have most of our young African-American women with 3 or 4 kids by 3 or 4 different guys, because they're not conscious and they made so many mistakes before they got conscious, or they made so many mistakes and never were conscious. Then they have kids and repeat the cycle, and it keeps going and keep going and keep going and keep going. So I was thinking about my mom and her parents. Growing up in Gary, I'm pretty sure Jackie can relate to 95 or 99.9% of what I'm about to say. Gary was a place full of mills, factories, all of this shit. Just like Detroit. When you have most of the income from black families coming from these places, and then they close these places,
or they have big layoffs,
or they have big ass layoffs, you have more than half of these families going into project housing, because that was what it was developed for. It was developed to help people. It was like a relief type of thing. I can't remember exactly because I tuned that shit out in class, and I tuned it out even when I read it recently. But it was intended to help. But when you put stressed people in one area, and they all want to get money, and then you they starve it, and then you add drugs. That was right, 70s, 80s. That's when crack, heroin, all of this shit. You got people who stress, jump into drugs, jump into alcohol, developing these habits, and then they're, now some of my grandparents or my grandparents and some of their friends developed habits, and then they became hostile. They became angry. They became just mean motherfuckers. And then they had their kids that happens to be our parents, and then our parents dealing with that have us, and then we don't know because their parents was too fucked up to even tell them. So that's what I'm looking at. So now you say their parents, okay, cool. My whole thing is this. Why are people so fucking anxious to have kids and have families and have all of this shit when they're fucking ill-equipped? So if you feel like this at 30, there should be no fucking reason why people are trying to have babies.
Or want to be married at 24 and 25.
Yeah, because you don't know shit.
That's why I be saying, like, because we be in school, goddammit, for what? 18 years, damn near.
Yeah.
You graduate when you 18. Then if you go to college, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's another 4 or 6 years.
You know what I'm saying? So really, you ain't really get to have the fun that you want for yourself. That's why I say like the 20s should be where people really just have fun. And then the 30s is where
you get serious.
You get serious in your life. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers live to 90 and 100, bro. And that is a long ass motherfucking time. So
like when
20 and 30,
fun.
that's why I used to be like, damn, I'm getting old. But I got to thinking, like, when I worked at the country club, these old motherfuckers is 190. I'm like, ooh, 30, damn, there ain't shit.
It ain't shit,
like,
bro.
they tell me, they be like, how old are you? I be like
20.
27. They be like,
you're young.
I wish I was 27 again.
Back when I was 27.
So, I just be thinking like, well, shit. Well, 30, maybe 30s is where you should be ready to get your life together, all the way together, want to have a family and all this.
But you gotta think like what you.
I was gonna say I was gonna agree with Keenan because I'm the opposite of you. Like, but my mom's parents gave her a good life. My grandfather was an attorney. My grandma was a teacher. My dad came from 9 to 9 kids, but he still made it out the hood. We was cool. So I had both of my parents there with me, and I had a blueprint laid out, like, this is what you can do, what you're supposed to do, and I still feel like I'm ill-equipped.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough.
I felt like I was living my life through them.
What situation you're supposed to be in.
That's what college should have taught us for real.
I feel like that's what high school and college
about life. Like
there should have been a life class in college.
Credit or
I don't want to know African American studies, or I don't want to know none of this shit. Teach me about life.
Yeah, because half of the shit y'all teach us we don't even use.
Right.
Like I can feel like I was saying, like if you're going to be a doctor or some shit like that, a lawyer, judge, shit like that, you got to go to school for that because you need to learn about that because that's dealing with someone else's life. You know what I'm saying? But all the other shit, man.
There should be a life class.
But
yes.
And I agree. But like I said, to me, you said some people can't make those mistakes. But for those who are fortunate to make mistakes and still bounce back from it, that's great. Because to me, life is probably one of the best teachers you'll ever have. Like, I know it's really fucked up to say, but it's like, it's some things that will happen to you that even your parents couldn't equip you for. And that's just how it is.
Yeah,
like, it's some stuff that they didn't go through.
Yeah,
right.
it is.
So, you...
Because everything changes.
When I went to college, neither one of my parents graduated from college.
Yeah, neither one of mine
I graduated,
went to college.
and my mom was like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I remember you were saying earlier, Eric, you was like, wait a minute, why you want me to do this? Because you didn't do it. So when she was trying to give me advice about college, I'm looking at it, I got the side eye look like, what?
Well,
I mean, even my mom went to college, and from the time that when she went to college and when I went to college was two totally different things. So when she was trying to tell me what to do, I was like, this is not even the same. You can't even tell me that.
Them, they never.
Yeah, my mama, when we graduated high school, that was the first time my mama ever mentioned college. That was the first time that she's ever even hinted that. When I remember walking across the stage in high school, like, damn, nigga, we made it.
Right.
Oh shit! Now what I'm gonna do? Cause
sort of.
Oh fuck!
But see, I played football, so that's why I really wanted to. I knew I was gonna go to college somewhere to play football. That's why I'm like, it was my idea, not my mama's and them. They was just with me.
I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of the shit that they shelter us from, they shouldn't have sheltered us from it at all. Like close your eyes, close your eyes when they kiss, or you watching movies with violence in it. Then we watching,
sneak and want to watch.
We want to watch. But then, like for me, like my mom, and I hope she don't get offended or get mad or upset. And I'm not trying to paint a bad picture of my mom because my mom is a shit. Mm-hmm. Like she had me at 14. I'm not supposed to be here. Like on 14 in Gary, I'm not supposed to be here right now. So she did a fucking good job. My mom never had like a relationship with a guy. Like she never really had like a marriage or a sweet, loving relationship with a guy for us to get an idea of how I'm supposed to treat a lady or my sister to treat a man. So when my mom gets mad at my sister or got mad at my sister because of the choices that she made, I'm like, well, you never taught us this. Mm-hmm. So she's learning this firsthand. She has to learn this firsthand. But even with people that have parents, they don't argue in front of the kid, or when they do argue in front of the kid, they might argue in the room, and then they'll never tell you how it's resolved. So we grow up not even knowing how to argue with a motherfucker because we never even seen our parents finish the argument. They all close the door. They do they 1-2 thing, or they don't want to kiss in front of us or hold hands or be overly affectionate and shit in front of us. So me as a black man, when a girl used to try to hug on me and kiss, I'm like, hey, we can do that while we fucking. But outside of fucking, I'm not really cool with it. But then I started to realize women like to be touched all the time.
Yeah.
And if I would have just touched these women all the time, they would have loved me even more.
But I think in terms of like the sheltering thing, I think that is some things that you have to gradually introduce your kids to. Like, I don't think out the gate that you can immediately, like if I got a 7 or 8 year old at the house and What's Love Got to Do with It comes on and it's that scene where Ike is raping Tina in the booth, I don't want my child to see that because I don't want them to think that's what sex is, because that's not sex.
Would you show them real sex?
My parents never showed me.
Because
not at no age like that.
But to be honest, that was the first scene that I saw as a child of sex.
I was horny way before I saw that movie. My dick was hard way before I saw that movie. Oh my God.
Well, I don't have those problems.
Yeah.
So.
See, my girl's a kindergarten teacher. She talks about how she'll come home and be like, oh, a little girl was masturbating in class. She'll come home.
I was just saying, my brother.
She'll come home and say that 2 kids were humping in the back of the class, like.
Cause that was me. That was me when I was tough.
I was just saying that when I was in kindergarten, somebody tried to help
Man,
me.
Not in kindergarten.
Me,
Yeah,
I kindergarten. I was
That's what I'm saying.
I couldn't help it. I knew I was a horn dog. It was a rap.
I had it happen too.
It all
Yeah,
comes
fine.
together.
Yeah,
It
like,
all goes together.
when you shelter it, like this is my thing, like, and I'm not a parent, and this is part of the reason why I choose not to be a parent yet, because some of these issues I don't know how to handle, and shit, well, when you get a kid, it'll just click and it'll
Yeah.
da 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 da.
You'll know.
No,
You
because
don't know
goddamn
'cause
it,
you
it didn't
don't
click
have
for you.
one.
So
It damn near do though.
I mean, because
When-
it's like
because-
this: either you teach your child or you let the world teach your child.
And
So
I'd
do
rather,
you want your
I'd rather teach her.
I'd rather tell them.
You know what I'm saying? I'll let her see stuff, but it's some stuff because she's 4. So I'll be like, no, close your eyes. Like she be knowing. Like she's like, if this start happening, she'll see it. She'll be like, close my eyes, daddy, right? I'll be like, yeah.
cover my ears.
Yep, close them eyes.
But I mean, I think it just depends. Like
That
I
close your eyes shit
remember
don't
when
work. It don't work because I was like,
you peeking through.
Yeah, but she ain't picking because I tell her turn around then.
go in the other room.
No, but like my little
I'll tell her
cousins,
that
when
too.
Miley Cyrus started wilding out, like they were all about Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
And as soon as Miley started wilding out, like all their parents was like, no, we can't let them watch that
Justin
no more.
Bieber too.
I'm like, I don't know why. I said because it's a girl in their school right now that's probably doing the same thing that Miley's doing, except it's just in a closed situation. I said, but you can't keep everything from your kid, because if you try and they find out from the world, the world gonna give them probably a definition that you really don't want them to have.
man, yeah, I agree with that. But
Especially sex.
When you live in a poverty-stricken community, going to a public school where the teachers have given up, they don't give no fuck.
Well, the teachers was sleeping with the students when I was
Right.
in school.
So,
Shit,
when
they do it now.
yeah, they do.
They still do it.
They been fucking.
I'm
so,
shitty. I ain't get to fuck one. I would have fucked one of them. I had a couple teachers I would have fucked.
Hey,
them.
there was some in my school too. I was
That
like,
you would?
hey, I wouldn't have told
I
nobody.
ain't saying shit. Motherfuckers be fucking
That
up.
definitely wasn't going on at Westside. It was not near a teacher that I would have touched. But the guys had to pick though. Like
Yeah.
we had some pretty like female teachers,
motherfuckers
but
be
the guys,
telling.
I was like,
my whole
Hell no.
you have when you have that
Going to
poverty
work.
when you add that low income, poverty stricken, gang stricken, no dad around. You got niggas clicking up, joining gangs, thinking what they dig, trying to get fast money. Chicks out here being hot and fast. You can't. All right, close your eyes. All right, bet. When she leave or
I'ma
get
go look.
older, my mom used to tell me to close my eyes, and then MTV had a show called Undressed, and I watched the fuck out of
and
Undressed
uncut.
and Uncut.
I stayed up for that.
Yes,
Midnight Love.
I stayed up
Smoke
for.
control, hand on the smoke control, ready to turn if I hear the door.
You have
I'm
so
turning
many.
that motherfucker.
Like,
you
Mama,
ha-
is that you?
I ain't no.
You have so
questions, you
many
just started.
things. You have so many different things fighting what you saying. You got so many different forces fighting against what you're trying to teach this child. You're trying to shelter. The rest of the world is like, look at this. Look at this. This is gonna be tight. Look at this. And then like subconsciously they're drinking around us. They're cussing around us. They're smoking around us. They're being cool around us. And what you think that's doing? Because now when I drink, I'm like, well, shit, it's okay. My parents drink.
Exactly.
Or if I'm smoking, my mama can't never ever say don't smoke. My dad can't ever say don't drink. So it's like, y'all try to shelter us and prevent us from doing these things, opposed to telling us the evils of some of this stuff. And then y'all judge us for when we do it or we overindulge in it, when you overindulged in it. And you didn't warn us about this. And I seen you do this. I seen auntie do this. I seen uncle do this. People are too focused on being politically correct when it comes to dealing with kids. They're too focused on sheltering when it comes to dealing with kids. And in turn, it essentially fucks shit up. Especially in these certain communities, like the communities, you know, the ghettos and the urbans and all this kind of shit. And then you have people just, you know, not knowing, man. And that's what bothered me the most about, I'm just looking back and always, my mom used to say, well, you don't need your father around, but try to hit me with that early. Bam. I was like, your dad is dead. Your dad has been dead since the very early 90s. And then sometimes you still wake up yearning for your dad if he was good or bad. Because all the stories that she say, some was good, some were fucking horrible.
Shit, I miss my daddy, and he been gone 16 years. I just want him here to just whoop some ass for me every once in a while, like for these niggas that be messing up. Just go whoop his ass. Like, low-key, my dad probably would have caught a case by now.
Right.
You know, but I don't know. I don't think I would ever tell my child you don't need your dad. I think a dad is very important.
Or just a role model, because we gonna look at somebody.
Yeah, see,
there needs to be a male figure, period.
Yeah.
Like if it's a grandfather or
stepfather around. They ain't smoke, drink, cuss. They don't do none of that shit.
And you do all that shit.
I do all that shit.
I just feel like sometimes I
my
feel.
My daddy don't drink or nothing either.
For real?
My daddy cool. I don't mess
You gotta talk
with him
louder
like
because you're gonna.
My daddy cool, but I don't mess with him like that. Shit.
Yeah.
The nigga moved to Atlanta, in like 96. Came back like 2 years ago. I mean, I used to go down there here and there.
Yeah.
He called here and there.
And that was just
but now he back, he just think it's just about to just click like that.
And it ain't gonna click.
It's over. Trying to make you meet people like, I don't care about them being my family. I don't even know them. I'm grown as fuck.
I'm 30.
30. I don't want to know them. You know what I'm saying?
So I have a question for you, because you said your dad wasn't around to tell you, like, don't think with your dick.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that caused issues. Do you think that had he told you about thinking with your dick, you really would have stopped? Because I kind of feel like that's a rite of passage for a man.
I just feel like a motherfucker
should have told us. That's the
motherfucker never really told me,
because they don't want to talk about sex. So you gotta think to talk to a woman about sex, you have to expose her realistically to niggas that just tell you what you want to hear to fuck. Then people who might fake a relationship and have a relationship with somebody else. You had to talk about infidelity, or you might have to talk about a guy dealing with somebody when it comes to a lady that might have kids. How should you deal with a lady with kids? How should you deal with a lady that you want to fuck and you don't know how to like
get it?
How to get it, or you know what I'm saying? Because you're relationships will fuck you up. Whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. If they good, then you lucked out. But when I'm young and I'm dealing with multiple women and I'm putting myself in this position and I'm hurting them, they could have had an older brother. That nigga could have came and got me. All of these things, or I could have got HIV. I could have caught AIDS. I could have fucking got the clap. I could have kept catching the clap. I could have did all of these things. I could, but them waiting till whenever to tell me about sex. And now I'm 17 or 16, 17. My dick been hard since fucking 10. So you waited 6 years too late. It's over. There's nothing that you can tell me. So, but when you have a father present and he can give you game at a young age, all right, I know your dick getting a little hard now. I know you're waking up with a hard on now. Let's talk. Let me tell you what condoms is. Let me tell you about what this is. Let me tell you, because you get a piece of pussy and your mama never taught you about sex and you never had a role model to tell you what condoms is, you diving in there. Oh, man, this feel, I'm pregnant. You're pregnant. Pregnant. Got that bitch pregnant.
First time having sex. That's some fucked up shit.
That's some fucked up shit, because everybody wanted to wait to talk about sex or stress or depression. Like, when I remember my mom I was like, man, I'm tired of fucking just working, coming home, paying bills, going to work, and then having a party here and there. She was like, well, that's what life's about. I said, shit me.
Yeah, bullshit.
Shit me.
Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's
like what it's set up to be, but I ain't.
That's not how I want to live.
That's not how I want to live. You sit here and pay bills and die, and I'm like, well, shit, I might as well jump off a bridge today. She said, don't talk like that. I said, but if you telling me that's what it's about,
that's what it seems like.
I done lived.
I
done lived.
Right.
What am I supposed to do from here?
I done paid these bills for a few years. Time to clock out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It's dinner like that though, because they give you this minimum wage that's just about right. So you want to make too much money. You know what I'm saying? They gonna take your shit.
But all right, even with jobs. So not having your parents tell you about how to, because all right, so white people at job, you got white people who parents might have taught them this. So when they act accordingly to get a promotion, we think it's kissing ass. We think they're just being a snob. We think that they just being a teacher's pet. We thinking all of this shit. But when you grow older and you develop the habit of not doing this shit, and then you see somebody else doing that shit, you talk shit to him. You talk shit about him. Look at this motherfucker. And then 6 months down the line, he got the promotion, he got the raise, and now he's the boss's best friend. But we still the motherfucker that they laugh and joke about in the break room because we doing just enough to keep the job, but now we ain't gonna get fired. We just doing just enough to stay. Just to stay. Mm-hmm. And that's what and if we had somebody that was more knowledgeable, like, all right, if your mom knows this, or your mom from trial and error, she had to have a job to pay for bills or formula or some shit because she had kids. She should know this from trial and error. Mm-hmm. Your dad should know this from trial and error. Mm-hmm. But the fact that y'all not telling us this shit, that's one of the things that makes us ill-equipped. Because you're not telling us these things, and there's no high school classes to teach us this shit. No. There are none of these things to teach us this shit. When you want to be successful at our age, and you develop habits of not kissing ass or networking or doing what you're supposed to do, because if I was the boss, I'm not about to give it the promotion to somebody who just come to work and then leave. I'm gonna get a job to somebody who talks to me, asks me, do I need anything, kissing my ass. I'm the boss. This is why I wanted to be the boss. So you can kiss my ass. As I'm getting older, and do the job proper, I can teach you how to do the job properly. The characteristics of a people person, I can't teach you that shit. Mm-hmm. Not this age. I can teach you how to do the job. That's what they have training for.
Pride, bro.
Yeah, pride. Black man's pride will kill us.
It's fucking y'all up every day.
It's fucking
black
us
men.
up.
Women too. I just made a
yeah.
status about that. People are so prideful. Like, you just
Can't
let
tell
that pride go.
Can't tell a motherfucker shit, bro.
Nothing.
And that shit fucking us up a lot. And it's just what we're not taught. And that's what got me so mad. I'm thinking about I need something to drink. I'm thinking about all of the shit that, I feel like, I lack. Whether it be confrontation. I avoid it all costs. I just not text you and cut you off. I don't feel like I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you shit. That's how I feel. Whether it be, dealing with shit head on, not being fearful. Or, when they say be a man about certain situations, I don't know what that means. Because my mom, be careful, don't do that, da-da-da-da. A dad is going to be like, fuck that, go do that. Let him be a man, let him be a boy. And when you grow up constantly saying, be careful, don't do that, watch yourself, da-da-da-da. Now when it comes to making big leaps and big jumps about shit, you be like, I got to be careful.
I don't know if I should do that.
I don't know if I should. I don't know. Yeah, because you're not taught that shit. And that shit is detrimental. This shit is detrimental to a lot of our handicaps. It's not just a man, but mine comes from the lack of male figures in my life. I wanted to be like my cousin, Mancho, my whole life. He had the flyest of clothes. He had every pair of Jordans.
All the bitches.
All the bitches. All the bitches.
Swear to God.
And I want to,
play football.
And he could hoop really fucking good, play basketball. Everybody
playing sports because of him.
Everybody in the neighborhood liked him. Mm-hmm. I want to be like him. This is my cousin. I come up here every weekend. Yeah. Okay, I'm here every weekend. That's how I know him. From 3rd grade up until fucking 17 years old, every other weekend, I was at my cousin's house. Mm-hmm. So you grow up wanting to be that, you'll start doing what they're doing, or trying to get what they got to get the status that they have. That shit wasn't right at all. It just
so do you think the lack of